Hello, everyone, and welcome to another weekly episode of Without Having Kicked a Ball. Hosting tonight is me, Sam Taylor, on this bonfire night. Will the fireworks be going off in the studio? Well, we'll see as we go along all the Premiership results, as well as our three featured games, our new addition for this season. Joining me tonight to discuss all the action, all the goals, and all the drama is the man whose channel this is on, TubeMix himself. How are we doing, buddy?
Hello, Sam. Yeah, great to be here, everyone. And yeah, it's that time again. It comes quickly, and yeah, can't wait to get going.
It does, it does. Unfortunately, we have a few noticeable absentees tonight.
Yeah,
In JLI Wheels is missing. Luckily, his wheels are missing, as far as I'm aware. And unfortunately, that hammy's gone again. Mr. Ben Carney's hammy's gone. But don't worry, they should all be back for next week's episode.
yes,
So bear with us tonight, everybody, because, as I say, there's only two of us. So, but without further ado, let's get started, shall we?
yeah, absolutely.
It was a very interesting weekend in the Premier League. There were certainly fireworks going off
Yes,
and
absolutely.
firecrackers everywhere. You look, some great games
Yes,
and some surprise results.
yeah,
Not more so than this. Bournemouth 2, Manchester City 1,
yeah, amazing result.
which was an incredible result. Goals from Antoine Semenyo and Evan Nielsen putting Bournemouth into a 2-0 lead, and then a consolation goal from Guardiola for Manchester City.
Yes,
But yes, what a match. I mean, Bournemouth played some good football under Areola.
he's doing a
And
good job, isn't he? There,
he
yeah,
is, yeah. They play some really good stuff. Yeah, and you could say City were hit with the blues. So
yeah, very good.
yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna ask Will what he thought of the match and the highlights he's watched, and yeah, I thought Bournemouth were good value for money. Really. What did you think?
Well, I completely agree with you, Sam. And one thing I noticed was City looked very leggy. You know, Nathan Ake didn't look particularly fit. You know, when he gave away the ball, yeah, City looked tired. They looked jaded. They did not look like they were at their best selves at all. It seems like it was starting to catch up with them, I suppose. And yeah, credit to Bournemouth. And you know, Bournemouth could have, you know, parked the bus and, you know, done that, but no, they were brave. They were adventurous, and from every minute that I saw, you know, it was just free flowing, attacking football. Right, let's attack them where it hurts, and yeah, credit to Bournemouth for a wonderful day for their fans that they'll cherish, and yeah, I certainly value for money.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, to be honest, that Bournemouth, you know, thoroughly deserved the victory.
Yes,
I,
absolutely.
I think City were bound to have their moments. As I thought that the second half was more even, um, but certainly first half, based on the first half performance, Bournemouth Bournemouth deserved it. Two very good goals as well. Very well worked. And I just think Bournemouth, you saw for their goals that the passing and the movement, and it just shows that despite the what we see as the difference in quality, that there's quality right throughout the league.
There is, absolutely, yeah.
And all this about, the bigger teams getting stronger and the poorer teams getting weaker. I
Well,
don't
yeah,
really
that's clearly not true, is it, really?
No, I don't. There's been a lot of talk about that because for the last season, um, the bottom three were the three promoted sides that came up.
But that's
But
not
that
surprising, is it, though? The Championship is very different to the
no,
Premier
but yeah,
League.
but the point I'm making is that was the first time it had happened for like 15 years.
Oh,
So
right.
it shows, that the league is strong. And
Yeah, I mean, look at. Sorry to interrupt you, Sam, but look at Brentford. Who have really solidified their status as a Premier League team, despite not being one of the big clubs, if you like. Yeah.
yeah, you're right. And I mean, fair play to Areola. I think they have a really good style of play. They can mix it up.
Yes.
Um, but
Which
but
all good
the
teams need to do.
direct
All good teams need to do. Mix up the
the
styles when they
direct
need to.
when they need to be, but they can play some really nice football as well.
Yes.
Um, and I think the passing, through the lines is really good, and it's sort of the Bournemouth way. And when I say the Bournemouth way, Eddie Howe
He did a
um,
great job there, didn't he, for many
was
years?
the
Although I
same
think,
really. Was the same really. Would pass through the uh, through the lines, and all right, sometimes they get beat heavily, but they play some good stuff. And then obviously they had Gary O'Neill, and I thought they were very unlucky where Gary O'Neill was when he lost his job. But you
was it
can't.
not Jason Tyndall after Eddie Howe?
Yeah, they did. Sorry, I was on about Premiership.
Oh, sorry, apologies. Right, yeah,
Yeah, no, they had Jason Tyndall, you're right, and
yes,
recruited from within, if you like.
yes,
And that didn't really work out.
no.
And then they had Scott Parker, didn't they,
Oh,
for
that was right. Yes, yes.
a while, who I think's a good manager, but for whatever reason, it wasn't the right fit. Um,
Yeah,
and
well, he seems to be
they
doing
had
pretty
Gary
well at
O'Neill.
Burnley, doesn't he, now? So,
Yeah, then they had Gary O'Neill, who I think is a very good manager, even though Wolves are struggling right now. Um, and he was a bit unlucky. He saved them when everybody thought they were doomed, and was a
yeah.
bit unlucky to lose his job. But you know what it reminds me of, Bournemouth? A bit
What's
like,
that?
when Southampton got rid of Nigel Atkins and brought in Pochettino.
Well, that was before I got into football, but I do, I do obviously know that Pochettino used to manage Southampton. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
well, Nigel Atkins came in. Sorry, Pochettino came in for Nigel Atkins at the end of their first season,
right.
and they've been struggling all season. And then they started to win. They won like 7 out of 9 games, and then they sacked him, which was a bit weird. Brought in
That is a
Pochettino,
bit
but
weird.
it shows you that you know I questioned Areola when he came in. He didn't have a very good start. I think last season they didn't win in something like 10, 12 games. And yet, or they didn't get many wins, and yet
But
he's been.
it just proves that, sticking with a manager and patience, and look at what it's doing for them now.
Yeah, and good on Bournemouth. They're a good watch. They've lost Dominic Solanke.
Yes.
And they can't just
Callum
bring in.
Callum Wilson, in the past, obviously, who's now plays for Newcastle, was a big
They
player for
can't.
them.
They can't. They lost Dominic Solanke right before the start of the season. He'd done all his pre-season with Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Um, so that's difficult. And obviously they brought in Evan Nielsen, who's done quite well. But it's not easy when you lose your best, well, one of your best players, if not your best, arguably the best player. Um, and you're a club like Bournemouth, you can't just go out and replace them.
No,
But
no,
I
yeah.
just wonder if like Man United, Man City, Liverpool sort of have the pick of who they want.
Yes.
I
And they have the
wonder if
budget for it, yes.
I wonder if because they don't have the financial resources, Bournemouth and teams like that, so they have to be more careful of who they bring in, whether that focuses their mind a little bit, because you see with United, especially, some of the signings have been terrible.
Well,
But
yes. Well, I think that's a very valid point, and that's something I've not actually thought about. But I think you could be right with that. Yeah.
you can't afford to get it wrong, is what I
No,
mean.
no, yeah, I know, yeah, because they can't match the budgets of the other team. So
Yeah, and if they get it wrong, they can't just splash the cash and replace it. But anyway, we're getting a bit off track. But
yeah,
Bournemouth,
sorry,
no, it's my fault. Bournemouth, great win. Um,
yes.
I thought they really did deserve it. And I'll leave you, to Will to ask what he thinks of the Man City angle.
Well, as I said, City's players looked leggy and jaded and tired, and they never got going from what I saw. Really, they just never looked like they were really going to win the game. Really, for me, I just thought that Bournemouth, I guess. Well, I think maybe they wanted it more. It seemed, or they just could have matched Bournemouth's energy, and City really struggled. Yeah,
Good for the league, though, I think.
it is good for the league, yes, and good for the league, good for Bournemouth fans. This will be a game that they'll always remember. I mean, if you said to, if I said to you that, if I predicted that Bournemouth would beat City, well, you'd think, no, what have you been drinking, Will? Get your mind together.
Bournemouth do have that in them when they play well. When they play well, they play very well.
Yes, and credit to Bournemouth and City. Obviously, the loss of Rodri is, City are not at their best at the moment, and they are starting, and more injuries are starting to creep in as well. Haaland could potentially be an injury worry. Jordan said on this show, Gel Like Wheels, how City, when they've got quite a few players injured, are actually, quite a thin squad, and I think it's proving true.
And we would have never have said that a few years ago, because you could have put two starting 11s out for City who probably would get you in the top four of the Premier League.
Yes,
Both.
exactly. But
So
they seem to be struggling at the moment. Yeah, and but
how just on Rodri, I'd like to, from all of us, from without having kicked the ball, congratulate Rodri on his fantastic Ballon d'Or win.
Oh,
Um,
did he win the Ballon d'Or?
he
Sorry.
did, yes, he did. He did. He beat Vinicius Junior to the Ballon d'Or.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Wow. Well,
and
yes, good on it. Well, I suppose it's not surprising, is it? I mean, he, won the World Cup with, won the Euros with Spain, and obviously, won the Premier League with City. So yeah, obviously well deserved. You can't argue with it.
and as much as we all love attacking players, Will, and we do because attacking players score goals and create goals generally.
Yes.
I think it's nice for a defensive midfielder or a defender or somebody who's not attacking but is vitally important to any team they play in. And
Yes.
arguably, you could argue, I believe, that Rodri is City's most important player.
Well, it's proved that,
Even
hasn't it? Because
more
they've
important
struggled
than
without him.
Haaland because they won the league without a striker for a while, for
They
a couple
did,
of
yeah,
years.
yeah. Without a
So
recognised number 9, and but Rodri's absence is, yeah, City do seem to be struggling without him, and that's proved true. So
So I think it's nice that a more defensive player, because defensive players can be unbelievable and don't always get the recognition because
yes,
everybody
yes,
goes
but
for the goals.
they are important. You don't.
They're
It's
vital.
it's not just your superstars. You've got other people. Sort of in the background, if you like, who are vital and hugely
Yeah, I would
important.
say I would say it's not necessarily a superstar thing, but everybody goes for numbers and the goal scorers and
Yes,
but Rodri's numbers he is a superstar, but
yes,
his numbers defensively and what he does for the team and the ground he covers and is amazing. So
yes,
congratulations to him. Yeah, and I think City have been able to replace players over the years.
yes.
Think of Diaz for company and um,
Yep.
Edison for Hart, if you like. I know Joe
Yes,
Hart.
and Claudio Bravo as well in between. So
But what I'm saying is they managed to replace like your Silvers with your De Bruyne's.
yes,
But Rodri's position seems to be one that whoever comes in can't can't do the same as
yeah, it
what
seems
he
to
does,
be a bit of a weakness, doesn't it, for them at the moment? Now that he's not there.
which just makes him more impressive, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think that's two out. If I'm not mistaken, I'll have to double check. So feel free to, correct me on the chat if we have any comments below when people watch this back. But I think that's Modric out of the last 3 seasons of players to win the Ballon d'Or. Modric won it. He was a defensive midfielder,
Yes.
and Rodri's won it. So I think it's good. But do you think City will still win the title? Well,
Well, I don't know because obviously, well, we'll come to it later. Liverpool winning and City and Arsenal both slipping up. And given Liverpool have got, have kept most of the same team that Klopp had, I think Liverpool could maybe be with a serious chance of winning the Premier League, I think.
yeah. I mean, there's no doubt City will be back, and I agree with everything you're saying. And Klopp also added some players in terms of Soberslai and McAllister at the beginning of last season, which
Yes, because
freshened.
I think, yes, he always knew the day he was going to leave, and so he wanted to make sure that the club was stable and in a good place before he left, and he did, and that's what a good manager does, and yeah.
The only caveat to that, and I agree, I think Liverpool have been the most impressive, and that would show you because they are leading the Premier League.
Yes.
Um, the only fireworks outside everyone, it's well and truly underway.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the only caveat to that would be that City have a way of being behind and then going on these unbelievable runs
Well,
where
that is true. That is
where
very
they'll win
valid,
like
but they don't have Rodri, so that is the one
they
difference that
don't.
could.
If there's any team you wouldn't count out, not saying we're counting them out yet, but let's say we get to March and they're third, 6 points behind, you'd still maybe not March, but yeah, February, March, you'd still put your house on City because you know that they can go on these unbelievable runs where they'll just win all the remaining games.
Oh well, yes, and that is very valid, and that's what they've done, time and time again. But if they can't find the right replacement for Rodri, then that's going to be the difference
Yeah,
to see where they finish this season and how they pick up.
yep, yep. And talking about struggles. But unless there's anything else you
No,
want
no,
to say.
no. I think we've covered because we talked about Bournemouth, we've talked about City. Let's move on.
So speaking about struggles, at the early kickoff, at the vibrant and always passionate St James's Park,
Yes,
it finished Newcastle United 1, Arsenal 0. The goal coming from Alexander Isak.
yes.
Um, and yeah, a great win for the Magpies, and I might say,
A much
uh,
needed win for them, wasn't it? Because
yeah, maybe
they
the
struggled a bit.
slightly under pressure, Eddie Howe. So a great win to beat Arsenal.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, uh, but yes, yeah, surprise result maybe showing Arsenal's softness. But what did you think of the game, Will?
Well, I mean, obviously, big win for Newcastle because they have been struggling a bit. For Arsenal, well, the slip up continues. Sorry, Gunners fans, but yeah, no, it seems they do seem to have lost their way a bit. Um, you know, Gabriel had to go off, didn't he? But
Yeah,
but luckily that injury wasn't as serious, and he was back in the team for the EFL Carabao Cup match, I think it was. But yeah, so but yes, I mean Arsenal, they do seem to have lost their way, and yeah, injuries are starting to creep in now, and but at least they've got Saliba back, so that's
he's a big miss. He's like Gabriel is, not Gabriel. He's like Rodri is for City. They
yes,
struggle with that.
Saliba is brilliant, isn't he? And him and Gabriel, they hardly missed any matches, did they, last season? So yeah, they were really crucial to Arsenal's title bid, and yeah, they've also missed Martin Odegaard as well. He's back in
Yeah,
full training, so that will at least be a boost to Arteta. Um, we'll talk about the game in a moment, but I just want to say I'm quite shocked about the departure of Edu as technical
yeah,
director. It's very strange timing. Um, yeah, so
yeah. For those that don't know, Edu, it came out. I think yesterday or
Yeah, I think
on
think it was yesterday. Yeah.
that Edu, Arsenal's sporting director and technical director, has decided to move on to pastures new. He obviously played
In
um,
the Invincibles team, didn't he? So he was
for
part
the
of that
Gunners.
side.
Yeah, and has had a key relationship with Mikel Arteta as they have strided to bring Arsenal back to the very top of world football, which they've done, I think, even
Yes, I
though.
think they have done it. Yes.
Um, so, but yeah, apparently he's going to be going off to with um
The owner of Forest, sort of, is sort of like it's a group of clubs, isn't it, or something? I
yeah.
think.
From what the information's a bit unclear still where Edu is going and what exactly he'll be doing, but it looks like a group of clubs that he will oversee from a technical point of view. That Marinakis, the owner of Forest, owns. So a changing role for him, maybe a bit like Klopp at in the Red Bull model.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
Has gone over that group. So,
Oh,
um,
sorry, yeah. I just want to say, well, there's not too much to say on this game, but yeah, good win for Newcastle, and Arsenal do need to pick up soon to get back to winning ways. Yeah.
yeah, and for me, just to finish off on Eddie, it'll be interesting how that affects Mikel
Yes, I
Arteta.
was just about to say it will be interesting. I mean, yeah, it's strange. I was quite shocked when I read the news that he was leaving. I thought, well, why would you leave Arsenal when seem things seem to be in a really good direction? Um,
You don't know what's going on behind the scenes though.
yes, that is true. Yeah, he could have had a
He's
falling out
not
with the.
happy, or maybe he's just simply ready for a new challenge and a new chapter in his life. I presume he might be moving abroad to do his role. We're not sure. Details will come out of what he's doing, but
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, a very talented man. Just for me on Arsenal, it's I hate to say it, and I'm sorry, Arsenal fans, cover your ears, but it's a bit Spursy.
Oh, they're not gonna like you for that.
I think I've definitely set a rocket off here, or I've dropped a rocket or a ricket. Anyway, um, the yeah, obviously, Arsenal fans love to mention how Tottenham are Spursy, as in they flatter to deceive.
Oh
They
well, yeah. Well, for them, there's probably nothing better to them than seeing Tottenham lose. So yeah,
but I just wonder if Arsenal are showing their own soft underbelly a little bit, and you know. This is not the first season because people were talking about them last season, but people, for the first time this season, have had them down as favourites.
yes,
Um, you know, last season as well because of what they did the season before, but this season, a lot of pundits I've certainly seen, while they've not written off Man City at the start of the season, because you can't, have said Arsenal are ready to take that next step.
yes. And for,
It's
well,
their
and
time.
we said it, didn't we? We've said it on this
Yeah.
show several
And
times.
it's their time, and City have had an amazing run, but we just thought Arsenal might have the edge. But I wonder if Arsenal just seem to be missing something for me, and I'm not sure it's personnel. I'm
So
not
you don't think
sure
it's
it's
injury issues then? So
no, I'm not even sure it's that. Though Odegaard missing doesn't help. And I don't think it's tactically. I think there's just something in their psychology that's just gone missing. And,
So you think it's a
you know,
confidence issue then?
yeah, maybe they've just had the confidence dented. Maybe they have just, because City are relentless.
Yes, they
And
are.
what we have to remember is Arsenal have had to try and keep pace with City for the
Yes,
last
yes, they
few.
have.
And I just wonder if that's starting to, because they haven't got over the line,
Yeah,
whether it's starting to catch up with them. We saw it with Liverpool when Liverpool, a couple of years before they won it, the title, or the year before, they ran Liverpool, they ran City close, and there was a point in it. And then the season after they won it, and then they finished fourth, but then they went again and nearly won it. So,
yeah,
it's what I'm saying is there was a drop off, and I just
yes,
think that Man City might be so relentless that maybe Arsenal, but that's no excuse. The other thing that's changed though in the landscape of football is, and Gary Neville, legend of Man U,
yes,
said that when he was playing 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you could afford to lose 5, 6 games in a season
yes,
and still be champions as
yes,
long as you beat the teams around you at the right time
yes,
and the smaller teams on most occasions. But now a team loses 1 or 2 games at that top end, and you think they're in serious trouble because the standards that have been set are so high.
yes. I completely agree
So
with you.
it will be very interesting to see. Again, I'm not writing Arsenal off.
Well, yeah, because don't forget it is still quite early. We've not even had Christmas yet, so
Well, I think once we've had the Christmas period and we get into the new year, we'll really see where everybody's at, because everybody seems a little bit more stumbly, other than Liverpool, than normal. But maybe around Christmas time we'll
yeah,
Christmas, because it's going to be manic now, and normally when it's manic, you get some
some
crazy
crazy
results
results, don't you? Yeah.
because everybody's playing every 3, 4 days, which I love, by the way. I know the managers complain about it, but I think it's one of the charms of our league, and I think players should just get on with it, to be
Although,
honest.
Klopp, I'll never forget, he said, football's bad for relationships because, I think he was saying because so much football, he was away from his wife.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's what comes with it. But yeah, but maybe that's a discussion for another day, whether footballers are overworked. For me, not. I look at tennis players, and I'm a big tennis fan, and
yes,
they'll play every day or every other day, and for 2 weeks in a row, and be on the court for 5 hours at a time.
yeah,
So for me, there's a bit of nonsense, but there's no doubt it's busy, and getting busier. And well, Arsenal just have to stay in the race, and any slip up from Liverpool and City, they'll have to be ready to
I
take
was
it,
just
because
about to say, yeah, they've got to be ready to strike if those two do slip up.
the issue they've put themselves in now, because they've had a couple of poor results,
Yes, they have. Yeah, three
relatively
games. I think they've struggled.
relatively early in the season,
Yes.
they've not given themselves margin for error,
No.
because you fancy everybody will drop points over Christmas, but if Arsenal drop any more, then they could be in trouble. So
Yes.
um, so yeah,
Well, yeah.
interesting.
It's vital for them to start get back on form and to continue challenging City and Liverpool. So,
and for Newcastle, for me, they hopefully they'll be challenging for Europe again. I like Eddie Howe. I think
he's a good manager, isn't he?
He's done a very good job. I know they've had a bit of money to spend, but with the way FFP is, they've not had as much money, as maybe people thought, and that they've done very, very well, and he's turned the culture of the club around. So I know they've been a bit up and down, and they didn't get into Europe, but again, I think Newcastle's trajectory is very good, and they've come a long way in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
They have, haven't they? Yeah.
And I'd stick with it. Whether he'll win him the league, I don't know. But for me, he's the right man for the job. Newcastle, as much as I'm a Man United fan, and United and Newcastle fans generally don't get on.
Why is that? Is that a rivalry? I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where it originates from. A bit of it was because Alan Shearer went to Newcastle rather than.
Oh, that was right. Yes, yeah.
Partly, but yeah, there's always been obviously it's not a derby, but it's not like Newcastle and Sunderland level, but there's always a bit. There's always a bit of needle between the two sides, but
yes.
I have to say I don't think Newcastle won a trophy since the 50s, so I think they're very overdue. I know Spurs fans complain about not winning trophies, but imagine not winning since the 50s. No wonder most of their fans are bald. There we go. Sorry, Luke. Sorry, but Magpies. Anyway, yeah, we'll see.
Who else are you going to insult next?
What was I going to say next? Yeah, so we'll see. And that winning feeling that Newcastle experienced, if you're ready, Will, takes us on to our next game.
Yes, I'm ready.
It finished Southampton 1, Everton 0. A first win of the season for Southampton.
And Russell Martin in the Premier League, so yeah.
Russell Martin. It was Adam Armstrong, if I'm not mistaken, scoring the goal.
Yes, I think it might be. I'll tell you what, I'll just double check for you now. I'll tell you what, it won't be long till I do the. It won't be long till I do the result. So yeah, I can give it to you when I do the result. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's Adam Armstrong. So yeah, first win for Southampton. We're a bit lucky. Everton played well, I thought, and hit the post and had.
Yeah.
I think had a goal disallowed, didn't they, as well?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
From memory. So, but you got to take your look when.
You've got to be clinical. So yeah.
What did you think of the highlights of that game? Well, I thought Everton were the better team, but you might disagree.
Well, yeah, Everton did play well, but first of all, I mean, Southampton, not just because they got the win, but we've been saying for, weeks on this show, Southampton do need to start winning because otherwise they're going to be straight back down to the Championship. And this could be, I mean, we're not getting carried away yet, Saints fans, but this could hopefully put a bit of confidence. It's amazing what one win can do, and that lifts a weight off their shoulders, and maybe
Yeah,
they can
I
now
think
put a run.
when they
Maybe they
become,
can now put a run together, and yeah, to improve.
yeah, I think that's a really good point. Well, I mean, we've seen a bit of a run from Everton. I know they lost, but it wasn't. It was only a few weeks ago that
Well,
they
yeah, I
were.
mean Everton. Sorry to interrupt you, Sam, but yeah, Everton. It's been a bit of a weird season, hasn't it? So far, they really struggled at the start of the season. Then they've started to pick up, and then yeah, you don't really quite know what you're going to get with Everton.
No, what I mean is, if Southampton can pick up in the way Everton have done,
Oh
even though they
yes, yes.
lost,
Sorry, I get you now.
then they will. Give themselves a chance. I don't think they'll survive. I think they're too open. And I said this on the football show a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
But when you are, I play, for those of you that don't know, I play power chair football, and pretty similar to able-bodied football in terms of your better teams at the top, your lower teams at the bottom. And when I was in the Premiership, I'm now a Championship player. We got relegated last season, but when you're at the bottom, you've got to be defensively resolute.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's all very good
Almost.
scoring goals, but you've got to be defensively secure. Otherwise, if you leak goals, if you concede loads of goals, then you're going to be doomed.
And I know goals win games ultimately, but I think defenses, when you're a lower team, keep you up because
Well,
because
yes,
if you
because obviously if you're good defensively and try and stop other teams from scoring, then yes, of course, it is going to keep you up.
yeah. So for me, Southampton won't survive. I like the way they play. I just think they're too open, and the
Yeah, it's
players.
it's. I'm struggling to see them staying up. I think, yeah.
And I'm not sure the players are good enough to be that open and get the results
I
they need.
think I think. Sorry, just before we go on to the results, I think out of the teams that were promoted, I think Leicester will be the most likely of them
I
to
agree.
stay up. I think because also, they've still got players like Ricardo Pereira and Vardy who have played in the Premier League before as well, so they've got the experience
We've
in the
still
league.
got James Justin, Luke Thomas,
Yes,
uh, Wilfred Ndidi.
yes,
Obviously Connor Cody's in that squad now. He's got lots
yeah,
of
who played for Wolves. So yeah.
and Everton for a time.
Oh yes, yes he did. Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, good win for Southampton, and it's strange how football works because I actually thought that was one of their poorer performances recently, and yet they
They
managed to
managed
get
to
the
win the game. Yeah.
so when previously they've played quite well and errors have cost them and they've come away with either a point or or nothing at all. So, but yeah, you're right. Well, the same way as goals, help a striker who's on a barren run. Goals can help the team, and sorry, not goals. Wins can
Yes.
completely change the momentum of a
The
team.
spirit, the mood. Yeah. So we'll it remains to be seen whether this can be used as a springboard to get us some more improved results and going in the right direction.
TubeMix will be happy because I'm about to mention the C word again, and he's got his jumper on. He's got his Christmas jumper on as well.
Yes.
But you know, so I'm gonna have to say it now after chastising him, ladies and gentlemen, off air for wearing a Christmas jumper already on the 5th of November, which is when we're recording this video. But I think we'll know a lot more about your likes of Everton, and Southampton and Ipswich and Wolves and Palaces
Yes.
once I'll have to say it, once Christmas is over.
There you go. Wasn't so bad, was it?
No, to be honest, and ladies and gentlemen, I will explain that I love Christmas. I'm a big Christmas fan, but it's just ridiculously early. Anyway, that's for another day. Everton, with Sean Dyche at the helm, you always feel went on about experience, Will, and he's got bags of experience
Yes, he
in
has. Yeah.
survive in not just management, but surviving in the Premier League.
Yes.
Which Russell Martin, being such a young manager,
Does
doesn't
he?
have
Yeah.
that same managerial experience, so maybe that'll count for something as well.
Yes, I completely agree with you there. Yeah.
And also the Everton players, you
Yeah, I
know,
mean they've still got players like Seamus Coleman, who's a veteran. They've got Ashley Young, haven't they? Who I can't believe is still playing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they've also,
Michael Keane, who's been there for a good few years now. So
yeah, I think that's a swear word for a lot of Everton fans. But but I do think that Everton. You talked about the experience of Leicester players being
yes,
Premiership players. Everton have that experience of being down there
yes,
season after season and kind of know
kind of
how to
rescuing themselves, don't they?
how a
So
bit like Sunderland did a few years ago, season after season. The only caveat for that is that the law of averages says if you're going to be down there year in year out, eventually
it will
you
catch up
will.
with you and you'll go down.
Yeah, but I fancy Everton to stay up, and
Oh yeah, I don't think Everton will go down because I think Ipswich and Southampton, yeah, will probably go down. As for the third team, yeah, I'm not sure, but I don't think Leicester. I don't think Leicester will go down.
yeah. Interestingly, they're on about Sean Dice potentially if this new owner gets in, who's
Yes,
Crystal Palace owns a lot of shares in Crystal Palace, and is trying to buy Everton. He it looks like they might get rid of Sean Dice, which if he comes in the middle of at the end of the season, I kind of get it if they want to go a different way. But I certainly wouldn't if Everton are in trouble. I certainly wouldn't get rid of Sean Dice
when
middle of the season.
when sorry to interrupt you, but when Abramovich bought Chelsea, was that did he get rid of Ranieri at the end of the season and then brought Jose Mourinho in, or was it
No,
in the
well,
middle?
yes, no. So uh, Abramovich brought Chelsea in the summer of 2003,
Right, yes. Mourinho
and
came
then
in 2004, didn't he? So
and then Ranieri was there for a season
right,
because Ranieri was already in place.
yes, he was. Yeah,
So,
sorry.
so he kept him for a season, and then at the end of the season, he was replaced by Jose Mourinho.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. Well, I think that rounds up our featured games. So here with your full classified Premiership results, I'll pass you over to TubeMix.
Right, thank you very much, Sam. Right, so we start on Saturday, the 2nd of November. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Crystal Palace 2. Strand Larsen in the 67th minute, assisted by Matthias Cunha. João Gomez in the 72nd minute, assisted by Gonzalo Guedes. Have I got that?
Guedes.
Oh,
Guedes.
Guedes. Right, okay. Then for Crystal Palace, Trevor Chalobah in the 60th minute. And Mark Gay in the 77th minute, assisted by, is it Munoz? What's his first name?
Munoz. Yeah, I can't remember his first name, but it is.
Munoz. Right, okay. Munoz, anyway, in the 77th minute. So, yes, that is that. So we move on to Southampton 1, Everton 0, which we were just talking about. Sam, you're right, it is Adam Armstrong in the 85th minute, assisted by Sogwara. Have I got that pronounced?
Sawara, I think that's his name, yeah.
Sogwara, right, in the 85th minute. Right. Okay. Then we move to Nottingham Forest 3, West Ham United 0. A bit of drama. There was a red card for Edison Alvarez in the 47th minute. Chris Wood in the 27th minute, assisted by Alex Marino. Callum Hudson-Odoi in the 65th minute, assisted by Elliot Anderson. And let's see, A-I-N-A. How would you pronounce that?
It's Ole Aina.
Aina, right, thank you. Ollie Aina in the 78th minute. Okay.
Yeah, going well. I know we don't talk about all these games now, but going well. Forest up to third in the table.
Yes, I mean, what a good job Nuno. You know, we've said on this show what a good job he's doing, and yeah, it's
the right kind of fit, I think, for Nuno.
Yes.
Forest. I think just quickly, Will, just to get your thought. You mentioned the Crystal Palace match there. Did you think Mateta's goal at the end should have stood?
I'm trying to think. Yes, I think
With the foul on Jose Sarr when Jose Sarr had the ball in his hand.
Yes. I think from what I remember, yeah, it was a clear foul and it was the right decision. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think there was minimal contact and Jose Sarr didn't have control of the ball, so that's interesting how we interpreted it. However, the referee gave it as a foul originally, and I'm not sure you could. It wasn't a clear and obvious error.
Now, what I did think wasn't a clear and obvious error, though, and I thought was very soft, was De Ligt in, I think it was the United v West Ham game, where he
the penalty.
conceded that penalty. Yeah, and I thought that was very soft, and yeah, there was hardly any contact, and yeah, so I did definitely agree that wasn't a penalty.
The only thing was with the Palace one was the referee said that there was a foul, and we've just disagreed on it. So it wasn't clear and obvious for him to overturn his decision. So if he'd have given it, I think he should have kept it. If he hadn't, which he didn't, I understand why, because it does have to be clear and obvious. Anyway, carry on.
Yes, sorry. So, Liverpool 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. Gakpo in the 70th minute, assisted by Virgil van Dijk. Who else? Mohamed Salah in the 72nd minute, assisted by...
Great goal, by the way.
Jones. Yeah. I mean, well, he's just... he's a great player, isn't he, Salah? Yeah. And for Brighton, now... this is a little bit difficult to pronounce, so it's Kadioglu.
I think it's Kadawa.
Kadawa. Right, okay. So Kadawa in the 14th minute, assisted by Danny Welbeck. Okay, we move on to Ipswich Town 1, Leicester City 1. So, is it Liam Davis?
Leaf Davis.
Leaf Davis. Oh, right, yes, sorry. So, Leaf Davis in the 55th minute, assisted by Sam Morsey. Have I got that right?
Sam Morsey, yeah.
Okay, yep. There was a red card in this one. Calvin Phillips in the 77th minute. And then...
Compose yourself, Will.
Oh, yes, sorry. And then Jordan Ayew in the 90th... Jordan Ayew in the 94th minute. I mean, I tell you what has been happening recently. The amount of late goals that have been happening in the Premier League. Don't you agree, Sam? It's
yeah, and Jordan Ayew scored a couple of them as well.
Yeah. And
a good solid player. He's a good pro. He's not spectacular, but he's a good pro. Jordan Ayew.
He's solid. Yeah,
been there, done it, kind of thing. Just to pick up on something, what was so funny about Calvin Phillips?
Oh, I don't know, mate. I apologize.
Is it because is it because you like the fact he's failed?
I've got nothing against him, mate. I'm sorry. I don't
sorry,
know.
Calvin. There's another subscriber we've lost. Anyway, we're down into the minus column at this rate, but carry on.
Jamie Vardy assisting Ayew's goal. There, right. So we move on to AFC Bournemouth 2, Manchester City 1. Well, in fact, we talked about this one, and it was Guardiola in the 82nd minute, assisted by Gundogan, and Semenyo in the 9th minute, assisted by Curvez, and Evanilson in the 64th minute. And as well as getting a goal, he actually provided the... Curvez assisted both Bournemouth goals. So, sorry. And Newcastle United 1, Arsenal 0. Isaac in the 12th minute, and Anthony Gordon to assist him. So, right. Okay, we move on to Sunday now. And by the way, Ruben Amorim was announced as permanent United boss. And I tell you what was so great to see. Ruud van Nistelrooy's the emotion, the passion when the United goal. It was wonderful.
Rather than upside down head.
do you know, so just before we continue, I did not get why you called Ten Hag upside down, and then Jordan said to me, yeah, it's because he's bald. So, it used to confuse me, that reference. So.
Yeah, and also, do you know who Darren Farley is?
Darren Farley? No, I don't think I do.
He's a football impressionist. And he did one of Harry Maguire when he wasn't getting in the team, and he was going, listen here, upside down head. I'm going to knock you with my big slab. Because obviously Harry Maguire's called Slabhead.
Oh, blimey. Bruno Fernandes in the 70th minute with a penalty, and Casido in the 74th minute. Yep, to make it Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1.
Just quickly on that game.
Oops,
sorry. Say the result again, Will, because I cut you off.
Sorry, Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1.
I watched that game, and it was a very disappointing game, really.
Both teams seemed to not be at it, were they? Really?
I thought we, as in Man United, might be on it.
After 10 sacking, so.
But and the winning midweek against Leicester in the cup, but it wasn't to be. We were quite laboured and flat, but Chelsea were as well, and it wasn't a great game. apart from a moment of magic from Caicedo with his
Oh, now that was a great strike,
volley
wasn't
from
it?
the
There
edge of the
wouldn't
box.
have been much that an Arthur could do to save it.
Right, let's take a deep breath. Well,
Okay, sorry.
we all good?
Yes. Yes.
Right. We don't need a pause. You're all fine.
Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, no, extraordinary strike, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely one for, well, maybe goal of the season when it comes to the time of it.
I wouldn't quite call it that contender, but it's certainly probably going to be goal of the month.
Okay, well, yeah, well, maybe I was just thinking that it could be up there. I mean, obviously we got loads of football to go yet, so right. So, oh, sorry. Anything you want more to say about the
Um,
game, Sam?
no, I think well the game itself was just a bit dull really, and but obviously Amorim's going to be coming in starting on the 11th of November.
Yep.
Hopefully,
This is the way to Amorim. So,
very good, very good. I
thank you.
like it. Yeah, there's a firecracker that one.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, we will see. Rude's got two more games.
Yes.
One in the Europa League on Thursday, and then
Yep.
one um, on Sunday to finish next week's game round. So, no, I think what we'll do, well, if it's all right, is obviously we talk a lot of United on the show because not because it's United. Me and Ben are fans of them, but because there's so much to talk about with United at the minute,
Well,
because
yes.
we're in so much disarray. But I think we'll discuss more about Amarin and stuff, shall we? When everybody's here.
Yes.
Um,
Well, because yeah, I mean, we talked about Amorim. You know, because at that point it wasn't officially announced, but you
yeah,
know, we talked about Amorim last week. So,
we can briefly do a quick thing on it next week before we start the the roundup.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And 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 yeah. Anyway, carry on.
Right, yes. So, what an extraordinary game this was. Tottenham came from 4 goals down to win
No,
4-1.
no, from one goal down. Will.
Oh, sorry, yes. Oh, bugger. Uh, anyway, Tottenham Hotspur 4, Aston Villa 1. So, Brennan Johnson in the 49th minute, assisted by Son Heung-min and Dominic Solanke. We mentioned him earlier. Well, he got 2 goals, one in the 75th minute and one in the 79th minute. And for the 75th minute, he was assisted by Kulusevski. Oh, I've finally managed to. Oh, sorry. Kulusevski in the 75th minute and Richarlison in the 79th minute. And then Morgan Rogers to get the only goal for Aston Villa in the 32nd minute. So yeah.
I watched that game at the start of Super Sunday before the United game, and yeah, the impressive comeback that by Spurs, and a great free kick from Madison, but also a beautiful chip over the goalkeeper over Martinez by Dominic Solanke as well.
Yes, yeah. And finally, there was a game yesterday. Fulham 2, Brentford 1. Harry Wilson in the 92nd minute. But how about this? The 97th minute. You see, as I, was saying, I mean, there does seem to be a lot of late goals at the moment.
So Harry, just for people who won't be clear, Harry Wilson scored both Fulham's goals.
Yes, sorry, you're right. I should have said that. Traore in the 92nd minute assisting that one, and Robinson assisting Harry Wilson's the goal in the 97th minute, and Jarlath.
Vitali Janelt.
Oh, sorry, Janelt. Yes, assisted by Norgard, and that is your results.
For Brentford, yep.
Yes.
A great late comeback from Fulham there. They're going well under Marco Silva, who I heard was an outside bet for the United job. I'm not quite sure he's done enough for that, but certainly going well, Fulham, and Smith Rose helped them out, and they are coping without João Paulinho, which I was very interested at the start of the season how they do without their star midfielder. And Jimenez is scoring a few goals again, which is great to see after his
career.
Smith
Rowe is doing well, isn't he? There, so yeah, good. Really good.
That's all good. And Jimenez, after his awful head injury as well, to see him back amongst the goals is fantastic.
Yeah. No, it's great to see. Really good to see.
On to the championship scores when you're ready, Will.
Right. So those were your Premier League results. So I am doing the championship results, and we start on Friday the 1st of November. Luton Town 1, West Bromwich Albion 1, and it was Chong in the 60th minute. And for West Bromwich Albion, it was Josh Maja in the 48th minute, assisted by Ahern Grant. Okay, right. Bit of a crazy game, this. Watford 6, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Goodness me. So Smith in the 34th minute, assisted by Johnson. Valentin in the 82nd minute, assisted by Lowe. Then for Watford, right, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. So there was Bio. So as well as having a penalty in the 58th minute, he also scored in the 67th minute, the 85th minute, and the 88th minute. And
the same player?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty extraordinary. So one penalty and then three other goals. So amazing. I can't think of any games that have been like that. Ince in the 52nd minute with a penalty, and Porteous. Have I pronounced that?
Porteous.
Okay, right, yep. 29th minute, assisted by Barr, and then Chakfadetsky. Have I got that right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It sounds right.
Okay, right, yep. 67th minute, and then Eberthily.
Yeah.
Okay, right. 85th minute, and Lurauchi in the 88th minute. Lurauchi, have I got that?
Yeah, I think that's close enough, Will.
Okay, right. Queen's Park Rangers 0, Sunderland 0, Preston North End 1, Bristol City 3, Sam Greenwood in the 48th minute, and then Wells in the 51st minute, assisted by Sykes. So this is for Bristol City. Hirakawa, have I got that name pronounced right? So as well as also scoring in the 6th minute, he also provided the assist for the goal in the 81st minute. And so Wells, 51st minute, assisted by Sykes, and Bird in the 81st minute, assisted by Hirakawa, and anyway, right, so Middlesbrough 0, Coventry City 3. We had a red card. Hackney was sent off. For Coventry City, Thomas in the 42nd minute, assisted by Eccles, and not just an assist for Eccles, he also scored in the 81st minute, and then Wright in the 76th minute, assisted by Sakamoto, and Wright, as well as providing an assist, also scored as well. So yes. Okay, Leeds United 3, Plymouth Argyle 0. Daniel James in the 30th minute, assisted by Gnonto. Have I pronounced that name right?
Nonto.
Nonto, right, sorry.
Because it's a silent, you're right, but it's a silent G.
Oh, you're right, yeah, okay, yeah.
You're right, though. It says Gnonto, but it's Nonto.
Right, yeah, sorry. Pirro, have I got that name?
Yeah, Joe Pirro.
Right, okay. Assisted, and then Aronson in the 38th minute to tie that game up. Right, Hull City 1, Portsmouth 1, and João Pedro in the 11th minute, assisted by Bellamy. Not sure if I
Did you say João Pedro? He plays for Brighton.
Well, there is a, but yeah, there must be another João Pedro.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, assisted by, well, I'll spell it to you. So BELLOUMI, Bellamy. Bellamy. What do you?
Yeah, I think Bellamy is closer.
Bellamy, yeah, like Halloumi. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
And then Murphy in the 46th minute. Okay. And then Cardiff City 2, Norwich City 1. Robinson in the 89th minute, assisted by O'Dowda. And as well as O'Dowda's assist, he also scored in the 93rd minute. And then Symes in the 52nd minute, assisted by Doyle. And then Stoke City 2, Derby County 1. Cannon in the 9th minute with a penalty. Very early for a penalty, isn't it? 9th minute. Gibson in the 82nd minute, assisted by Jun Ho. And Johansson in the 68th minute had an own goal for Derby County. Okay, Oxford United 1, Swansea City 2. Scarlett in the 88th minute, assisted by Brown.
I wonder if is that Dame Scarlett? D Scarlett, does it say?
Dane Scarlett, yeah, you're right, yeah. Dane Scarlett.
On loan from Spurs. Anyway.
Swansea City, Zipotnik. Have I got that name right?
Yeah.
Okay, in the 30th minute, assisted by Ronald. And then Blancchini. Have I got that?
I don't know that one. It's all right though.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's spelled like Blanc, and then it's got Chini, so I imagine. Anyway, assisted by Franco. Okay, and then the final one for Saturday: Blackburn Rovers 0, Sheffield United 2, Burrows in the 16th minute, and Campbell in the 64th minute, and finally, Millwall 1, Burnley 0. Cooper in the 52nd minute, assisted by Aziz. Have I got that pronounced? Azaz, right, okay. And
he was also on my FC24 Plymouth career mode.
Oh, right, well, that's good then. Let me just check that there's no games. Oh, no, there have been games today.
We said we'd leave today's ones.
Yes. Sorry.
Because they're part of they're part of the next round. You
Yes.
can say them if you want, Will,
Oh, no,
actually.
no, no. Sorry, no, we'll leave them. And sorry, yes, that is all your results.
Right. So that I think it concludes. Is that us done, Will? Does
Yep,
that
that is us
conclude?
done. Yep, because
Um,
we've covered everything. So
so yeah. Um, thank you everyone for joining myself and TubeMix tonight. A slightly unusual show as there's been two of us, but I think we've got through pretty well considering to do it in under 2 hours considering our the two of us. I think we've done well.
yes,
Um
I agree. It's been a great
and
show. Really enjoyed it. See you
I
next
just
time.
like I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank TubeMix because I know we give him a lot of stick on this show, as you've probably noticed. Some of it deserved, some of it maybe not. But I'd just like to thank him because without his channel, this football show wouldn't have been possible. And we started in COVID. Yes, it's gone through a couple of different names, but we started it in COVID.
In different
Um,
formats, yeah, as well. So
yeah, different formats, but the basis of the football show has been there since COVID. When Will came up with the idea, because we couldn't go anywhere, that we'd come together and start the football show, and it kept us all going every week, and we had a good laugh, and it was brilliant. So I always like to when every now and again, not every week because I don't want his head to get too big, but every so often to just say thank you, Will,
thank
because
you,
without you,
Simon. That's absolutely fair enough, mate. Thank
this
you.
wouldn't have been possible. So anyway, that's the soppy stuff out of the way. We do hope you have enjoyed the show tonight. If you have, then please like, comment, and subscribe to the Tube Mix channel.
Yep.
Uh, and please watch the show. It's a good laugh. Um, and have a good bonfire night, everyone. Stay
Yes, stay
safe.
safe. Yep.
And yeah. And
See you
we
next time.
brought you a firecracker tonight. But this has been Without Having Kicked the Ball. And from me, Sam Taylor, and Tube Mix, we'd like to say thank you for joining us. And
Yep.
we'll see you again next time.
Yep. See you next time.
See you next time. Thank you.